Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please.
My name is Timothy Logan Jr. My DOC number is 750142.
All right, we're here for a revocation decision this morning, Mr. Logan.
Yes,
would you put the revocation questionnaire up? Do you remember signing a revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am. A bill of particulars. Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page, dated
Yes,
June
yes,
9th?
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
based on that information, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Are you ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then Mrs. Jackson will be asking you some questions about it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're accused of violating condition number 2, which reads, you failed to reside at your listed address, 3230 Coverland Drive in Pineville, Louisiana. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty, okay. Condition number 4, you failed to refrain from criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on January 8, 2023 by the Alexandria Police Department for simple assault and battery of a dating partner. On March 22nd, 2023, Alexandria City Court dismissed the charge of simple assault and battering of a dating partner. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
And lastly, condition number 10, you failed to make proper payments towards your parole fees. You're currently in arrears $126. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay. Would you answer Mrs. Jackson, please?
Good morning, Mr. Logan.
Good morning, Ms. Jackson.
You have been detained since January 8th of this year. Is that correct?
The screen kind of glitched up. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes. You were paroled in September of 22. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have been detained on a parole hold since January 8th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you went about 6 months after release before you.
It was 4 months. 4 months, and I was trying to, but I had a lot of bills and a lot of things going on.
Okay.
I
understand. My point is, you'd only been out a few months, and here we are again. Right?
You said, ma'am. You said, hold on loud.
I said you had only been out a few months, and here we are back again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's talk about the first violation, where it was alleged that you failed to reside at the address that you provided probation and parole. What do you want to say about that?
I work. I had been doing parole and probation anyway since juvenile. So my dad and my brothers usually when the PO come, they'll be like they'll think I'm in trouble or something like that, and they'll tell the PO that I wasn't there or wasn't staying there. That was kind of a mix up with that. But my friend, if you look, I'm pretty sure they have my work schedule up there. From my first week out, actually getting out released from prison, I had a job working from 7 to 3 almost every day, except Saturdays or Mondays, and I'll be gone by the time they even get in the field. By the time my probation officer get in the field, I'll be at work from 7 o'clock to 3.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the address that you were supposed to be living at?
3230 Cloverland Drive. That's where I was residing.
3230 what?
Cloverland Drive.
Cloverland. And who lives there?
That's my father's.
All right, well, let's talk about the criminal activity, your arrest for simple assault and battery of a dating partner. Tell us what happened there.
Okay, May I add that these two are two misdemeanor charges, and on top of that, okay. Okay. Yes, man. What had happened was, okay, me and my ex-girlfriend, we were trying to get a house. Okay, we were staying together for like a week or two, maybe something like that. And me and her mom got into it. I ended up getting kicked out. Okay. So she calls me like 2 weeks after that. She's like, she wants to get, closure from our incident, from that incident. So she calls me to come to the hospital. When I come to the hospital, we get in the car, we go to talking. She don't like that I'm telling her that it's over with. Like, I don't want to deal with this no more. We've been doing this for 8 years. I don't want to deal with this. So she goes to fighting on me. I had asked them to subpoena the video so you guys can see the video, but they said that after the charges was dropped, because she went up there and dropped the charges, and that they took the video out of the evidence log or something like that. But anyway, she went to swinging on me. So after she went to swinging on me, they had 2 officers that work up there. I told them after they came out and got off me, I told them that I was going to leave. I was going to go tell my job that I was going to be late, and I was going to go to the police office and file a police report. So after I left, went to my job, told them I was going to be late, tried to go file a police report. The police was like, hey, we just left this evidence. We just left this scene. We're going to arrest you for simple battery of a dignity partner and simple assault. And I'm like, okay, well, if y'all arrested me, I'm pretty sure y'all got to be arresting her too. I'm aware of that's how it was supposed to go, because, I didn't even touch her. She was really hitting on me. And I know they have all type of cameras around at the hospital. So, what am I going to jail for? And they like, for one, that I was on parole, and then for 2, that it was still a fighting incident, regardless if I touched her or not. So that's where we are with this situation.
Well, let's talk about that plan to move in with her. You said you were there for a couple of weeks. Although I think in your preliminary hearing, you said you've been there about a month. Did you notify the parole officer that you were moved in with your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am. See, I only had to report every 3 months, and I was waiting on to catch them like at my dad's house. See, I told them a preliminary exam, like, we moved in, like, I was only out there. We moved in like December 15th, December 14th, somewhere around there. I come to jail January 7th. It's like actually a week and some days, something like that there. And I was going to notify my PO, but I only was on moderate supervision. So I report every 3 months. So when I went to report, I was just going to change my address. As you see, that didn't work out.
And you were behind $126 when you got arrested in January?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was your monthly fee?
My monthly fee was $65.
2 months behind?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you 2 months behind?
Like I said, we was trying to move in. I was trying to get a house, and then, trying to get a counter back up on my utility bill. I have a pending utility bill, for the house we was trying to get in for $1,000, and just trying to get my priorities straight.
Where were you working?
At Love's Truck Stop in Boyce, Louisiana.
On what?
I was doing maintenance.
On what?
Maintenance around the store.
That a full-time job?
Yes, ma'am.
How much were you making an hour?
I was making $12.50 an hour.
Do you still have that job?
If I was to get out today, how I got the job was my friend is actually a manager there. So he told me that when I do get out, he would give me back my job. He would talk to the hiring manager and give me back my job. But my dad works at Walker in Tioga. He thinks I should come there and be a mechanic instead of going back to Love's, but I could still have the job very much.
Well, did you learn any skills as a mechanic while you were incarcerated?
See, my dad drag races, so I already have the skills as a mechanic. I'm not licensed as a mechanic, but I know how to work on cars. And while I was there doing, mechanic. While I was there doing maintenance, my friend that I'm talking about, he works in the tire shop as a diesel mechanic. So I was actually sitting there learning a little bit about that while I was there. Yes,
ma'am. That's all I need to know.
All right. Anything else you want to say to us before we vote?
See, like, I just, for me, what I want to say is I really was trying to do my best out there. Like, I really went out there. If you look on my rap sheet, I never had a domestic abuse. I never had anything like violent with a person. And on top of that, I went out there this time with my mindset set. I went out there in a week, got me a job, was working full time almost every day, nonstop. I didn't get in any criminal activity as far as none of the stuff I used to. I wasn't hanging around with the same crowd. I wasn't doing anything the same. I was working home and family. I was trying to get my life together. So if you guys can please make a fair decision, for me, because I would like to continue my life. I had just did a 2.5 year sentence. I just did a 7-year sentence before this, which was 2.5 years. And only had a chance out there for 3 months, get my life together for something so simple and something that I really regret. And if you guys can make a decision, please give me another chance, to get my life together. That would really be appreciated.
Okay. All right. I think we're ready to vote.
All right, Mr. Logan. I'm going to vote not to revoke you.
Thank you.
Find not guilty of Rule 2. And not guilty of Rule 4, guilty of Rule 10, going to vote to turn you to supervision, and that you are, and who was the person that you were involved with?
Miss Hara, my ex.
Her name?
Miss Hara, Ayana Hara.
Right, then I'm going to order that you have no contact with Ayana Hara.
Yes, ma'am.
Harrell?
Harrell, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Freeman.
So Logan, I'm a little concerned over what happened, but I'm going to also give you another chance and vote to do not revoke with no contact with Ms. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
And I concur with my colleagues. That is, do not revoke, add special condition, no contact with Ayana Hara. Good luck to you.
Thank you.